I know there's the June 15th event, which is coming up. Could you tell us about that?
Yes, so that's an event that I'm doing in Long Island. That's going to be in Melville at this place. I think it was a Retro Cafe. I think they might have just changed the name, but I think Retro Cafe is the new name. That's going to be with a lender that I'm good friends with, a guy named Artie, you might know. And he's actually going to be, he and a couple of his colleagues are going to be teaching a class on what we call creative financing. It's, think of it as financing 201. It's all the things that aren't the basics. I think everybody knows of the class Introduction to Real Estate Financing, Mortgage 101, that type of thing. This is the next level up where agents can learn about things like seller financing and hard money and 203K loans and things like that. And then also some special loan products that are available from this bank. They'll get credit for it and then also get a good cheeseburger from the Retro Cafe as well. So really, again, very social, but then also very educational at the same time.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. Well, that's something we should put together. I mean, I spoke to Artie about that. I mean, we should really get together some Facebook event and be able to shoot out to your Long Island people. It's coming up.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
That's something we can promote.
Exactly. I think he's going old school, like printing out flyers and going into the brokerages and things like that, which, it's cool, but it's definitely old school.
Yeah, listen, we've talked about that 100 times. There's only one way to do it. You and I can collaborate on that. Let's do that. Let's make it a point. Yeah, we could do that. Well, Derek, this is great stuff. I think that agents, your primary market and brokers, should know that this is charter school is the place to get your licensing and your credits and a chance to build a sense of community and gain an advantage in the local industry. I really do.
Yeah, and I think it's also great because for me, partnering with PlugIntro really makes it even just adds more to the discussion because of the value that PlugIntro offers, right? So like new agents in particular, you give them something like PlugIntro and say, hey, look, this is what you actually need to do to build your brand and also to build your network. Bring something of value that even agents that have been in the game longer than you don't have yet. Be an early adopter, jump in with this and really show some value.
Well, PlugIntro solves two problems, which I need and everyone needs. And that is I did not have enough people to speak to. I did not have enough value to offer them outside the deal. Nobody cares that I started in 97. They want to know what you could do for them. And I don't even mean from a client perspective, but when you meet someone from whether it's a plumber, electrician, or a dentist or accountant, if I'm able to offer that person business exposure that no one else does, no one else gives others the chance to promote themselves, then that naturally creates a stronger connection. And people, I think, who are of like mind and have some class and professionalism would want to cultivate reciprocity. So really, we're doing something. And the best part about PlugIntro to me is it's a little slice of Facebook. If I had to tell people, go out and get an Android, go out and get an iPhone, and then join this thing called Facebook.com, and they say, what's that? Be a pretty tough hurdle. But everyone's walking around with these phones and has Facebook on there. So it's one tiny step to grab something that's yours. Facebook, Derek, is not yours and is not mine. So when I don't invite you there. And isn't it funny that Facebook does not have an invitation mechanism? It seems like it's the big, it's like the Death Star and we're all drawn to it, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So
the invitation is the people are there already.
But they're making it clear that this is ours and not yours. But yet they give us a group, or that could be Yankees, Mets, dads, golf, sports, anything that you like, gardening. And so now with these groups, you can claim a position. So I've claimed PlugIntro for me. You now have your own PlugIntro platform. And I say this all the time now. If you're not giving away digital positions, which is really a way for a place in a Facebook group, but I say fancy digital position where someone can gain. If you're not giving away a digital position, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're giving no one anything. So how can you expect people to think of you first? You can't. And then it becomes
You're right. You're absolutely right. Because I see that, just in my Facebook, right? I've got, my personal Facebook and I've got the school's Facebook. There are so many more realtors that follow my personal account than the school account. Even if they've
Right.
heard of the school, they don't care about that. They want to, potentially network with me or be in my sphere. And so Facebook is kind of, that's why I think LinkedIn is kind of creating its own stratosphere finally. But Facebook is always going to be where everyone is. It's really just a matter of how you determine Facebook. And just going back to what you were saying before about PlugIntro, which I love also, is that for me, it's a natural progression for the sponsors that I work with, right? So like if I'm, if you're a real estate attorney and you teach a class for me, and then I can introduce you to PlugIntro, where you can then continue that relationship with students that are in the class, it just makes sense. It's
Yeah,
something
it does. But I taught CE as a lawyer for some time in Long Island years ago. But I've always had a little issue where, yes, it's great to know what's in a contract, but you're not going to do a contract. And yes, it's good to know about underwriting, where it's loan to value and debt to income, but you're not going to do that. And title, what we're searching for, and what's a cloud on title, but you're not going to do that. Where with PlugIntro, you are stuck with, how am I going to get my name out? How am I going to make an impact on others? Where today I can give an interview for 24 minutes and then invite people to hear it. And then even if it's not all about me, I can invite my local contacts. I have clients, friends, family, local business owners, so they gain. If any PlugIntro if joins with anyone, you're giving them some actionable steps today on their phone, where they're going to be anyway, because really they have nothing to do on graduation day. So they have now they can start. And you know what else? They're not subject to be told what to do by a broker. And let's be real, this isn't the old days where brokers are really breathing down their neck. They're not. It's like sink or swim.
Exactly. It's like, welcome to the party. Your desk is over there. Maybe. Good luck.
Yeah. Or, here's your code. With other companies, here's how you log in. Good luck.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
so this
really
really
not
kind of gives you that, what do I do next? You do this. You join PlugIntro and you build your.
Yeah. And you're there anyway. So I speak to lenders and I say, well, about how many Facebook friends you have are agents? Tons. I go, what do you provide them? Keyword provide. And it's not a RESPA violation. It's not a kickback. It's nothing silly. It's just what you provide them.
Careful investment. Yeah.
What do you provide? And I, of course I know. And what do you provide? And that, you can't, let me think what I say. What do you give them? Oh, good services. No, you don't. You only give good service when you're in a deal. What do you provide them? How about an environment where you can collaborate in benefiting our collective business community? Then they may appreciate us more, and we're more than just every dime a dozen agent.
Right. Exactly. I mean, because look, at the end of the day, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, right? Real estate is obviously very transactional. It is also very social. And PlugIntro blurs that line a little bit more, where the social benefits the transactional and vice versa. You're actually socializing with the people you work with for the benefit of more transactions, but then begets more social interactions as well. And really beautiful cycle.
Depending on how much of a social person you are, I am. I think that people collect people. It's crazy. I do that too. You collect people. Oh, that guy's cool. I like the area he's in. I like his quotes. I dig sharing, comments, like, a joke. I mean, how many of my comments are more than 3 or 4 words? You don't write novels. You write like 3, 4 words, right? Right. That's cool. Or sometimes 2 words. I would love this study. You and I digress so much. I would love this study. What percentage of Facebook comments are 5 words or less? I'm going to start looking at that now. Right. And I will say that a good number, half or more, are 5 words or less or fewer.
You're particularly good at being succinct, though. I like it. I just
want to hit move. But I'm telling you, people don't have enough to say about it, and they're not going to. People are celebrating, so you jump on the bandwagon. So that's collecting people. That means a bond. And that's what, it's nice to have these surface yet respect-based relationships.
Right. Yeah. And social media is really a good place for that because, again, that access to other people's network. It's amazing how my network has grown just by, just being active in social media, making a random connection with someone in some cases, and that can lead to an actual connection with someone else of value. It's ridiculous how, the 6 degrees of separation. It's even less than that in
It's
a
even much
lot of.
less in
Yeah.
digital. And that is, you just mentioned the central tenet of PlugIntro, and that is the power of loose connections.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went to your birthday party in 2020, no, in 2019,
19.
and
Yeah.
met Matt, and I joined a real estate
No, that
company.
was 2020. It was January 2020. Yeah. It
It was January 2020. Okay.
feels like
So,
2019 because it was right before, but yeah.
well, when was your birthday? December or January?
January 27th. Everybody
Of
out there, January
2020?
27th.
Of 2027, 2020. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I don't go to that party, I'm not with the company I'm with. If my friend doesn't tell me which college and fraternity to go to, I don't meet the people that changed my life. So the power of loose connections is swirling around us. And how many times have you seen on Facebook someone say something, a comment to someone else you say, how the hell do you guys know each other? Does that happen to you? It happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I found it's funny. One of my students, she wasn't a student at the time, but I was following her on Facebook, on Instagram, sorry. Just, when I was building my Instagram following. So she was an agent I'd come across and I just followed her. And a little bit later, I followed my university as well, my college. I went to St. Lawrence University. I followed them. So I saw a post and I saw that she had commented on the post, liked the post. I was like, she had to have gone. It's this tiny liberal arts school in a small town in upstate New York. Nobody's just following that, unless you went. And it turns out she recently graduated. She was a couple years removed from college, and we connected based on that. She's started attending classes. We became friends. I'm not going to say I became a mentor to her. That's unfair to me. It's unfair for what position I play, but I try to support her and help her out. And that all came from, just finding the person and then just seeing, hey, this agent, followed something, responded to something from my university. And so that's an amazing thing that's happened. Like I've connected with photographers. Just for example, like there's this photographer that I found something of his, a picture that I really liked. And he said, I think in his comment, he had said something like, oh, I feel like this should be on a poster in a coffee shop, like an inspirational quote in a coffee shop. So I actually took the picture and made an inspirational quote post on Instagram and I tagged him. And I was like, this is for you, buddy. Turns out the guy actually lives in my neighborhood. And when I needed a photographer for something, he wasn't available, but he introduced me to somebody who I did eventually work with. And that guy, turns out, grew up in Flushing, knows my high school. We went, this guy's Chinese, and I hired him to take pictures for the Asian Real Estate Association Gala that we just had a couple of weeks ago. And he met people he went to school with there. So like that connection just kept spiraling. So absolutely insane how these things
And as good as meeting Matt was at your party, that was in real life. So if there's a snowstorm or some kid had the flu, I wasn't going. But in the digital space, there's a legacy. So if someone makes a comment, I don't miss it. In a month, it'll still be there.
Exactly.
So I couldn't expect, Matt was not going to stay in that disco for another month. So I wasn't going to go back in. He wasn't going to stay there. So, but the comment does stay there.
Absolutely.
So,
It's a beautiful thing, right? Because you don't lose people. You can always go, oh, who was that guy? You can find it. You can always, as long as if I shared something or made a comment or anything, it lives. It continues to live. And that's the beauty of social media. Same way with YouTube, right? Just put it out there and the crawlers will find it if somebody looks for it. So just put it out there and it stays there.
And you can direct it. Yeah. Well, listen, you are uniquely positioned, I think, being in the metro area where there's a never-ending supply of agents. You're connected to some really influential people, plus the practitioners that know their stuff. I'm happy to help. And I think that, the space we can share is that giving some agents tools, immediate actionable tools, because, the stuff that they learn, which they must know, that's great for a career, but that's not great for June. So that's you know, that's where really I think your value comes in. They're like, holy wow, this guy gave me a place, and I look forward to it. So I really thank you for today. I mean, I want to ask you what's the best way to get in touch with you, and we'll stick on for another moment after that. What's the best way to reach you?
Sure. So I give everybody my cell phone. So my phone blows up constantly. It's been going off while we've been doing this interview. But my number is 646-769-0777. Give the cell phone out to everybody. You can also email me. Very simple email. It's Derek, DEREK, at CNYRES. See it there on the screen, CNYRES, Charter New York Real Estate School.com.
Yeah, great job. I'm proud of how far you come.